But of course, the big talking point for us Mumbaikars over the next 24 hours, more than that actually, over the next 40 hours maybe, would be the elections, the next phase of elections, and finally it's our turn. Mumbai elections along with Maharashtra and other constituencies will take place tomorrow. It's again one big phase. Last phase was the biggest one. A lot of people believe that this phase may actually decide if indeed there is a Modi wave or not. Vinay Tiwari, managing editor of CNN IBN, now joins in. Vinay, hi, good morning.
Hi, morning.
Do you think, just explain the importance of Maharashtra for us, because a lot of people believe that apart from Mumbai, of course, Maharashtra with its second largest number of seats might actually decide apart from the UP and Bihar, but Maharashtra would be critical. So if you could explain in terms of numbers how important Maharashtra would be.
Well, that's right. I think you've got the point right. Of all the bellwether states, I think outside of UP, Bihar and Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra is by far the biggest and perhaps the most important, as you put it. 42 seats, very critical. And the ruling Congress NCP seems to be in a bit of a situation where they're unpopular. There seems to be charges of corruption against them. All our tracker surveys have shown BJP on a bit of a comeback trail there. But I think inside Maharashtra, the real key battleground is your city in Mumbai. And I think that's where what happened in 2009 is a kind of an indicator what is likely to happen again this time. And that is the only area in Maharashtra which is making the BJP a bit nervous. Because out of the 8 seats that you have between Mumbai and Thane, the Shiv-Sena seems to be creating a bit of a problem for them in at least 5 of them. And that's where the big story seems to be in Mumbai.
So Vinay, are you saying that there's a good chance that if I talk about just the Mumbai the 6 seats of Mumbai, there's a good chance that the Congress may manage to retain 4 or 5 of them, if not all 6?
Well, let's look at what happened in 2009. Out of the 6 seats of Mumbai and 2 of Thane, 5 seats is where the margin of defeat for the BJP Shiv-Sena candidate was less than the margin, the number of votes that the MNS candidate got. So they played spoiler in 5 seats, and if they were not there, it may well have been that the BJP Shiv-Sena may have won the seat. Now this year as well, there are 5 seats where there is a direct contest between the BJP Shiv-Sena and the MNS, and that's where the problem seems to be. And I think most people are not, at least outside of Maharashtra, are not recognizing that both the Thackeray brothers are not exactly battling for Lok Sabha. They're actually battling for the assembly elections which are happening. And that's where the problem is, because they're not really concerned too much about what happens at the center. The real fight, the real battle is for preparing for the assembly elections, and that's why Raj has been unyielding. Even though Nitin Gadkari and other leaders had reached out to him before the elections, but he's not yielded. And in fact, he's been defending his decision to put up candidates even where Shiv-Sena and BJP are there.
Okay. Nitin, sorry, Vinay, there's a lot which has been spoken about the Mumbai South voting base, where we have Milind Deora also, who is contesting and is the sitting MP, that, you know, the voter turnout has traditionally been extremely low, 41% in 2009 itself. Do you think that because of the anti-incumbency wave, there could be much higher voter turnout this time?
Well, that's what the trend has been across India. I think every single state that has gone to polls so far has shown a fairly impressive rise from its previous numbers. I think except Bangalore, where the rise was not as dramatic as it's been in other states. Most of the other states have shown a very high, the percentage going up from the last time, at least 10 to 12%. So I'm presuming it should happen in Mumbai South as well. But it's not just about the anti-incumbency. I think the number of people who come out and vote also increases by the kind of keenness of the contest. And I think this year's contest, 2014's contest, is far more keen and far more intense than it was in 2009. And that's perhaps one reason why more people are coming out, because more parties are actually battling harder to get their supporters out and to get them to vote. And that certainly you will see a rise in the number of people who come out and vote on tomorrow day after.
So Vinay, are you saying that maybe the BJP Sena got their numbers wrong in terms of which seats should have been given to which party? I mean, the anecdotal evidence tells us that for South Mumbai, for example, where about 18 to 20% Gujarati Marwadi population, they may have wanted to vote for BJP, but there's no BJP candidate there. There's a Shiv-Sena candidate. So is that something which could go wrong for the alliance in the 6 Mumbai city's seats?
No, I'm not too sure of that because, look, of all the alliances that the BJP has had, I think Shiv-Sena has been the most stable alliance. So I think most people do not distinguish necessarily between a Shiv-Sena candidate and a BJP candidate to that extent. I think the real problem seems to be, apart from the Akalis, which have also been a very stable ally for the NDA, but I think the real problem seems to be that the image of Modi, the reason why somebody would vote for Modi, is somewhat similar to the reason why some people would vote for Raj Thakre in Mumbai, because both have that very strong man kind of a persona. He has that attractive appeal.
Vinay, the reason I ask this is that because it's quite clear that Raj Thakre has not put up candidates where BJP is fighting elections, but he has put up candidates where Shiv-Sena is. So, for example, you have a Mumbai North Central where MNS was not a factor at all last time. Priya Dutt would have still won. And there you have the BJP candidate Poonam Mahajan. So really MNS is not a factor. But in South Mumbai, MNS is a factor. So in that sense, would that have made a difference?
Yes, I think you're right in saying that he is really gunning for the Shiv-Sena. He's not really interested in the BJP. And that explains what we were discussing earlier, that their fight is about the assembly elections, not so much about Lok Sabha. And I think maybe you have a point that if they would have thought about that strategically, but I think they were never really planning that way. They were actually planning for a grand alliance, and that grand alliance was being discussed for a very long time. And that is where the BJP's local leadership kind of failed. I don't think they understood the DNA. The two brothers cannot exactly get along. They can't stand each other. It's as simple as that. And there is no way they'll get along. They're fighting for the same political space. They're fighting for the same workers' cadre morale mentality, or whatever you can call it. Even the people in Shiv-Sena, which is right now a bit of a cracking party, they have had a lot of high-profile exits over the last couple of months. Most of the cadre prefers a person like Raj Thakre than Uddhav. So there is a personality clash between them, and I think that's where you may be right, that BJP should have perhaps played it a little more smarter and made their chances better in the 8 seats that they have in Mumbai and Thane.
Okay, Vinay, what about the Aam Aadmi Party candidates? Because their qualifications and individual qualifications per se seem to be quite strong. We had Meera Sanyal, which is strengthened post 2009 when she was an independent candidate, and then we have Feroz Palkiwala also, where there's a lot which is spoken about him in terms of his profile. Do you think that there could be votes just going towards the candidate as opposed to the party?
Well, I think if you speak to most of the local political experts or people who tracked Mumbai and Maharashtra for a very long time, they're not exactly talking about Aam Aadmi Party as a winner. I think they're more worried about them being a spoiler. But the tricky part is that I don't think people have answers to whose chances they're spoiling more, unlike, say, outside of Maharashtra. Because in Maharashtra, you have the local NCP and Congress government, which is very unpopular, so conventionally speaking, you would assume that anybody who was upset and angry with them would tend to go to somebody else. But there are options available in BJP and Shiv-Sena in Maharashtra or in Mumbai and Thane. So I'm not too sure whose vote they're going to make a dent into more. And which is why perhaps you see that while Aam Aadmi Party has certainly gained a little more traction than, say, perhaps the last time when Meera Sanyal contested or somebody else contested, you will not see them being taken very seriously beyond a point. I guess there is some traction of the kind of rhetoric style politics they do. But in terms of the actual day when people go out and vote, I'm not too sure that people are looking at them as a very serious option in the 8 seats that we're talking about.
Okay, Vinay.